Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to AJ101 Criminal Law Online. My name is Tony Farrar, and I am your instructor for this semester. Briefly, a little bit of background about me. I have over 34 years in law enforcement, retiring in December of 2015 as the Chief of Police for the Rialto Police Department located in San Bernardino County. My education consists of a master's degree in police administration, a master's degree in business administration, and a master's degree in criminology and police management from the University of Cambridge's Institute of Criminology in England. My goal for this semester is to make this class as enjoyable as possible, but to also have you learn as much about policing as you can, the career path that I hope that each of you pursue. Now, this semester, we're also going to be on Canvas instead of Blackboard, so you might notice a couple of changes in the way the system actually looks, and we'll go through some of those at the end of this discussion. Now, before we jump into the syllabus discussion, I wanted to take a quick opportunity to reflect back on summertime and the relaxing times that each of us had. Some of us, whether we were staying at home, working, or on vacation, or some of you may have even had summer classes. I thought this was a great photo to show. This is the Bahamas, and yes, it was extremely relaxing, and I had a great time there. Now back to reality. So we're going to go through the syllabus first. We're going to walk through some different things like the essay, some assignments, how the testing and different things work. I'll show you what your new Canvas system will look like from an instructor point of view. So I'll give you a little bit of a look at that, and then we'll kind of look through the calendar of events, and then we'll finish everything up. So here we go. So first, you can look at the top here of your syllabus, and this is something that you need to read in its entirety. There's a couple of places that I'm going to kind of skip by, and I will leave it up to you to go back and make sure that you read that information a little bit more in depth. So this is Criminal Law AJ101. The section number is 3651. We are in fall of 2017. The class, of course, is online. My information is located here at the top, the instructor information. I have an address there. I'm out of the Menifee campus as opposed to the San Jacinto campus where I was at last semester, and there is my office phone number as well. My email address here is listed, and that is the best way to get a hold of me. If you email me with some information or a question or what have you, I will get back to you within 24 hours, but usually it's quite a bit faster than that. I have a Twitter account at Professor Farrar. Be gentle, however, because I'm just kind of getting going on that, and I'm probably not going to be able to respond as quickly to that as I can via email. A couple of other links of interest that I have on here. If you're interested in joining our Criminal Justice Club, I have a link to our Facebook, so you can go there and get more information on the club. And also, if you need more information on careers and internships and things of that nature, you can go to the CTE website and you can click on the link here and it'll take you there. Office hours, while this is an online class, I still have office hours for both face-to-face and even online. I am at the Menifee campus. My office is in office number 960. I am on campus Tuesday and Thursdays for office hours between 12:30 and 1:45, and then 3:30 to 4:45. So again, both Tuesday and Thursday for office hours. For online courses like this one, I am always available Wednesday and Thursday nights from 7:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. I do monitor the classes throughout the week, and again, if you send me an email, I will get back to you very, very quickly, at the latest within 24 hours. If you email me something, please take note of what's in bold here. Put a header on your email so I know who you are. So place AJ101-3651 criminal law and your name in the subject line of the email, so that way I can know which class you're in and who you are very quickly, so I can get you the information that you need. Since I teach several classes, again, this is the best way to get a hold of me, and it is hard for me to remember every single person's name and what class they are affiliated with. So if you use that header, that would help me out greatly. Also, If you are requested to submit any type of written assignment in Canvas, which you will be, and we'll talk about soon, please submit that assignment in Microsoft Word. If you send it to me in any other type of word processor format like WordPerfect or something else, there's no real guarantee that I'll be able to open it on my end. So if you're consistent and we all use Microsoft Word, it'll just make that process quite a bit smoother. So a little bit of information in red here, so note this. The syllabus is a living document and subject to change during the semester. You will, however, be made aware of changes when they occur in the form of an email or an announcement via Canvas, so please pay attention to any announcements that come from your Canvas account. If you have any questions about the course, please feel free to email me. I would also suggest that you print out a hard copy and you have it with you so that way you can reference and review it if you need to keep track of things like dates of quizzes, tests, or term papers, or things like that. Remember, it's not my responsibility to remind you of these things, which I will. I'll still remind you, but at the end of the day, it is your responsibility to make sure that you keep track of all deadlines affiliated with test quizzes, term papers, and other assignments. The course description, we won't spend a lot of time on that, but we are going to look at a lot of different things throughout the course. The historical development, philosophy of law, and constitutional provisions, definitions, classifications of crimes, and the application to the criminal justice system. We'll look at legal research, the study of case law, which is super important, methodology, and concepts of laws as a social force. And you can look here at the different learning objectives that are relative to the class. Most importantly, though, is the textbook. So the book that we're going to be using for this particular course, it was the California Criminal Law Concepts. The publisher is Pearson Learning Solutions. The edition is the 2017 edition, and the ISBN or ISBN number is listed there as well. Now you can get this book at the San Jacinto or Menifee bookstore or at whatever place that you tend to get your books at. Typically, you guys are great at finding ways to either rent books or get books, so I'll leave that up to you. The Penal Code. Okay, this is not a primary book, although it's listed in the syllabus here, but we will be referring to this book from time to time. And if you don't have a copy of the Penal Code, that's okay. You can access all of that information online. This will help you as we will use this book to discuss several codes. And I have a link to legalinfo.ca.gov here, and you can go there and you can find whatever California Penal Code that you want. Keep in mind that this is going to be somewhat of a fast-paced class with a lot of reading and information that you're going to get. You really do need to keep up with the readings. Don't rely just on the PowerPoint lectures to get through the class. Some of the legal terms that you're going to come across might seem a little bit difficult at first for you to understand. Therefore, you need to read the textbook chapters carefully to fully understand those items, which will help you add context to the subject matter. And context is super important. Because what I don't want you to do is just memorize. We can do that. We can memorize case laws. We can memorize definitions. I want you to be able to be a little bit bigger and bolder, if you will, and to be able to actually take those definitions or those case laws and be able to not only understand them, but apply them. And that's where the context part comes in. So we're going to do that this semester, and hopefully you'll be able to do that as well. In some cases, also, you might have to look up a word or term on the internet or the Penal Code or a law dictionary, and you can do that online as well. If you have any type of problem with a concept that you come across, let me know. You can send it to me via email, or you can post it on Canvas in the discussions area. I have a separate general question discussion board that will be set up, and then we can answer it as a class. So, and maybe even another student could answer it as well. It doesn't have to necessarily be me, but if you have anything that's just general out there that you want me to discuss or you don't understand, you can email me separately or you can post it on that discussion area and we'll discuss it. Some of the course expectations that you can see here, you are going to be required to complete a variety of different things. Number one, reading the required materials. So the PowerPoints, the lecture notes, the articles, the textbook chapters. Yes, the textbook chapters. Number two, viewing the weekly videos relating to each chapter. I post PowerPoints with audio, so they're like narrated PowerPoints. So if you like to hear my voice, you can hear my voice as I narrate the PowerPoints to you. So that's an option as well. Or other related case study videos. So you need to view those. Number three, participate in thoughtful and timely discussions via the discussion board. And thoughtful doesn't mean posting, yes, I agree with your comments. Thoughtful means that you take some time and you think and you formulate your thoughts and you come up with what you believe is your opinion on something. And timely means that exactly what it is, in a timely fashion, that you get your post put up on Canvas so that way we can all participate in the discussion board. Keep in mind those discussion boards, they're going to open and close. They're very date specific, so you need to make sure that you get your post put in a timely fashion. And I'll go through that entire schedule at the end of this little talk. Number four, completing online and timed quizzes. So you'll have quizzes. They are going to be timed. You basically get 20 minutes for a 10-question quiz. And the next one, completing online timed exams, excuse me, you get basically 75 minutes for a 50-question exam, which is plenty of time for you to take your time and get 100%, right? Number six, complete the midterm writing assignment. Do not panic. Yes, there is a writing assignment. I will help you get through it, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later on. A point of reference here, failure to participate in the discussion boards, missing quizzes or exams, or failing to turn in any other assignments, or missing a combination of all of these activities may cause you to be dropped from the class. So please, please pay attention to deadlines. And again, we'll go through the entire schedule at the end of this discussion so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. So are you ready for an online class? I have some information, a link here where you can view some tutorials and some other related information to see if you're ready for an online course. Some people find these courses a little bit more difficult. Some think they're a little bit easier. They're not simple courses, but time management is a must. So if you click on this link, it'll take you to the expectations of an online student and give you a little bit more information. Back to the discussion boards, participating in discussion boards. This is a very important feature for the course. Now there's going to be a total of 4 discussions. The first of which is kind of a survey, but most importantly, it's your check-in. And this is at the beginning of the course. Actually, the course will open a week before the actual posting opening date, if you will. So during that week before the class actually starts is when you're going to do your check-in, but that's the first discussion board. The discussions will be on relevant topics relating to law enforcement and or the courts. And this is a point that I want to kind of make sure that you understand. While these discussions are not given letter grades, they are a means whereby I can gauge your ability to interact with other classmates on important topics, interact with me on important topics, and also be able to kind of voice your opinion. So while they're not graded with a letter grade, they are required, and they are given a credit, no credit grade. So failing to complete the discussion board assignments will be considered the same as not completing any other assignment. Therefore, if you don't do these assignments, these discussion boards, you can be subject to being dropped from the class. So again, it's all about time management for these types of classes. Technology responsibility. This is very important as well. You are responsible for your computer equipment and internet connection independent of the campus. You will need to plan your coursework to be able to accommodate computer-related issues or other related problems. These will not be grounds for relaxation of deadlines. If you're unaware whether a transaction has gone through, it's your responsibility to find an alternative means of providing or completing the assignment as required. So here's the biggest hint for online types of classes. Do not wait until the last minute to turn something in or to submit something, because Murphy's Law will sneak up on you, and everybody knows what Murphy's Law is, right? It's the law of it just figures. So if all of your assignments are due at 11 p.m. on Tuesday night, don't wait till 10:30 p.m. to start doing one, because something will happen with your computer and you may not get your assignment submitted on time. So give yourself a little bit of a buffer to deal with any type of technology issues. Next, we talk about functions of Canvas used. So there's a little bit of a change. We're using Canvas instead of Blackboard, and because of that, there's going to be some minor changes in the way things look when you log in. In Blackboard, we would have folders. I would make my classes, they're easy to follow, but I would put everything in a weekly folder and title it Week 1, Week 2, Week 3, etc. I basically just changed the format, and they are now weekly modules. So these modules, this is where your weekly assignments are going to be located. And I will title each module so you'll know exactly what is in each module and what week it is for. So an example would be Module 1 will be titled Week 1. And Week 1 will contain all of the assignments needed that you need to complete in Week 1, if that makes any sense. So those modules will contain audio lectures and chapter PowerPoints and links to videos and articles, exams, quizzes, and other related guides. And the goal here is for you to be able to find everything for each week easily in one little folder, or, as we put it now, modules. Discussions. This is where group discussions will occur on various topics. I will also have a discussion board, as I said earlier, for general questions as well, and I may post links to videos or articles in these discussion areas as well. Announcements, pretty self-explanatory. This is where you're going to find announcements for the class, including relevant information on any changes to exams, quizzes, or upcoming information that I think that you really need to know about. So monitor your announcements. The gradebook, again, self-explanatory. This is where you're going to find your grades. Because this is an online course, after you take a chapter quiz or a chapter exam, the grade will self-populate in there automatically, and you'll get that grade very quickly. Anything that you have to upload that needs to be reviewed first, like an essay or extra credit or something like that, may take me a few days to get the grade put in the gradebook. Extra credit, this is an area where you can find the extra credit assignment. Extra credit is date specific, and we'll talk a little bit more about extra credit in a minute. So please be sure that you read the assignment and take note of the dates involved. So that extra credit assignment is going to become available during a certain time period. So that's when the only time that you'll have to do it. And again, we'll go through that in a few more minutes. I'm going to skip the instructional methods. I'll let you look at that. Academic support, if you need any assistance, you can use the resources at the Learning Resource Center at any one of the campuses or through the help desk. And student code of conduct, this is not a face-to-face class, it's online, so I added in some information on what we call netiquette, and it's basically etiquette for cyberspace, if you will. And it's a set of rules for behaving properly online. If you need to know more about it, there's a link there that you can click on, and it will take you to review some of those core rules of what we call netiquette. I just want you to understand that when we have discussions and things like that, that be sympathetic and understanding in knowing that we're all a little bit different and that we all have different opinions, and sometimes we value our opinions, and because of that we can be a little emotional in some of our posts and what have you, but understand that we want to respect everybody's opinion, okay, and let people voice their opinion, because at the end of the day we're all trying to learn from whatever the discussion board topic is. And some of the topics can be a little bit, I wouldn't say sensitive, but they'll be sometimes a debate. Maybe going back and forth on a certain topic. An example could be the death penalty. So that's a subject of debate. And there are some of us that might feel, yes, it's okay, and some of us that might feel, no, it's not. But at the end of the day, like I said, our goal is to talk about it, discuss it, and learn from it. So let's all understand that we are a little bit different and respect everybody's opinion when it comes to discussions. Enough said on that. Now the fun stuff. Exams and quizzes. The quiz and exam questions will come directly from the textbook, lectures, PowerPoints, or designated articles or videos. Now each week you'll have a reading assignment, a lecture or a PowerPoint, and a short 10-question quiz covering the corresponding chapter. In addition, there'll be 3 chapter exams, and those chapter exams consist of 50 questions, and it's basically 1 point per question. You'll have 4 discussion boards. Remember, the first is the survey and check-in, and then you'll have 1 midterm writing assignment, and I'll give you a visual of what that looks like in just a minute. Also, very, very important, all lectures, PowerPoints, quizzes, exams, discussion information, and any other assignments will be posted and available on Wednesday nights at 5 p.m. All assignments are due by 11 p.m. on the following Tuesday night. So this is kind of how the schedule works and how these weeks go. So weeks open on Wednesdays and they close the following Tuesday night. So as an example that I have posted here for you to look at, classes will officially open for this class on Wednesday, August 16th at 5 p.m. That's when week 1 will pop open and you'll be able to see everything. Before that, you may not see everything inside week 1 because it's date specific. So bear with me for a minute. So week 1 will open up on Wednesday, August 16th at 5 p.m. You will have until the following Tuesday or August 22nd at 11 p.m. to complete everything in the week 1 module. So I hope that makes sense to you. And to kind of help you a little bit, I'm going to show you, I'm going to jump around for just a second. And I know this is kind of not centered, but that's okay. But I'm going to show you what the modules actually look like. And I think this will kind of help you. So when you go to, and this is, when you go to modules, this is what you're going to see. Now this is an instructor view, but that's okay. But you'll see here first some important information that you need to read. So you click on this and you read the info. This is everything you need to know. It's a module about your midterm essay. And this is for a different class, so the essay is an officer interview, but you get what I'm saying. Okay. Here's an audio version of the PowerPoint on how to write APA. Here's just a plain PowerPoint. This is just the slides on how to write APA. An example paper, a writing rubric, which basically tells you how I grade the papers and where the points kind of fall, and a little tutorial on how to upload your paper. And then this is the week 1 module. So the module that we're in right now, this is week 1. So you would click on here to start week 1. This is the course overview. So it tells you a little bit about me probably in the course and etc. You have discussion board 1, which is the course check-in. Now you should have already done this. This course opened up a week before the actual publicized starting date. So you should have already checked in. If you haven't, you need to go here and you need to check in. So this is week 1. I have in week 1 the Bill of Rights. There's a PowerPoint on the Bill of Rights, and then there's a PDF version of the PowerPoint Bill of Rights. So either style you want to look at it. This is, again, PowerPoint. This is more of a document type version. So either way, it's the same thing, but you can look at it either way. And then finally, I have a link to 4 or 5 videos on the court systems, like the Supreme Court or the District Court. And I want you to learn these different court systems and what they're for. So this is week 1. So if you do everything in this module in week 1, you've completed week number 1. And hopefully just that little visual helps you kind of understand what that week 1 looks like. So now let's kind of jump back into where we were at as far as like how things go. So we talked about when the class opens and closes. Now also, since you have 6 days to complete each weekly assignment or assignments, depending upon how many are in there. There are no makeups. Okay, if you have some type of emergency, you need to communicate with me as quickly as possible so we can make some type of an arrangement. And I'll decide those on a case-by-case basis. But typically, there are no makeups, so you need to basically understand when things are due. And I have a calendar at the end of the syllabus that you can kind of look at that will help you keep track of all those due dates. So, one thing of note as well, on the weeks that you have a chapter exam, you're still going to have to do the short quiz. So remember, there's a quiz every week, that little 10-question quiz. And then there are 3 bigger chapter exams, and those chapter exams might incorporate or encompass 4 or 5 chapters. So, but you're still going to have a quiz. So you might have 2 things in one particular week, and I'll show you how that looks in just a second. A hint for that, though, do the quiz first, because those quizzes are there to help you be exposed to each individual chapter, and the chapter exam is more of an overview of each chapter. So that should help you. And if you do well on these quizzes, you're going to do well on the chapter exams. So grading, I go by a point system. So 90%, 80%, 70%, 60%. So you can see how that works right there. Here's what the graded assignments look like basically. So exam 1 is 50 points, exam 2, 50 points, exam 3 is your final, it's worth 50 points. Your midterm paper is 30 points, quizzes are 150 points for a total of 330. Extra credit, don't bank on extra credit, but usually I have an extra credit assignment that will provide you an opportunity to earn up to 15 to 20 extra points. But again, you need to monitor your quizzes and make sure that you're getting everything done, and then that extra credit will boost you up if needed. Some important dates that I have here for you to look at. I'm not going to go through all of them. I'll let you do that. Now your written assignment. Now before you panic, yes, there is a written assignment. If you've been in any of my classes before, you know there's basically a written assignment. I have posted what we call a rubric so you can see how I grade these particular papers. And for this class this semester, you're going to be required to write a paper on the United States Supreme Court case Tennessee versus Garner. And this is all of the information you need. You can type this case law, this Tennessee v. Garner 1985, into a search engine like Bing or Google or what have you, and you can get just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of bits of information that will help you do this. I basically outline what I'm looking for in this paper, so it is a minimum 3-page brief on this case. The brief should contain the following 5 items: the issue of the case, the facts of the case, the finding or the holding of the court, meaning what did they decide, the rationale of the court, meaning like why did they decide it, and then your opinion, which I value. I want to know what your opinion is of the case. Now your paper has to provide at least 2 references, and there are no makeups if you don't turn this paper in. The paper needs to be 3 pages long, double-spaced, 12-point font, with a cover sheet, again using Microsoft Word. The cover sheet and the reference page do not count in the page total, so keep that in mind. So at bare minimum, you'll have 5 pages, a cover sheet, 3 pages of text, and a reference page. So you can do more, but you can't do less. The paper must follow APA format, and your paper is going to be graded on content, spelling and grammar, organization, and completeness. And I have a really good website, Owl Purdue, that you can go to if you need to find any more information about APA. Now, I also posted on Canvas an instructional video on how to complete your paper and how to write in APA format, and also how to reference. So all of that is posted as well. So you can watch that tutorial and it will show you how to do it. So all of the information also for the midterm writing assignment can be found not only in the syllabus, but in the module titled midterm essay. And of course, if you need any help beyond that, on writing the paper. You can go to the library where there's handouts on APA format. And in each library, there's a writing center where they can help you with the paper as well. And then finally, information on how to upload your essay is going to be posted on Canvas. So you have all of that information at your fingertips. So quickly moving on, plagiarism. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but understand that copying even a part of a sentence from a text, article, or news story in a paper without acknowledging the source or using quotes is in fact plagiarism. Okay, copying and just changing a few words is still plagiarism. So I have a bunch of information down here on plagiarism. Please cite your information. That's why you have a reference page, and you cite it in the text. And you'll see if you watch that instructional video, I will walk you through how to do that. Now finally, we're going to wrap up with the course outline to kind of show you how each week goes. We're not going to go through every week. I'm going to show you about the first 5 or 6 weeks so you can see how things lay out. So week 1 is what we're doing right now. August 16th is when the class opened. And remember, it opens at 5 p.m. We're going to talk about the course information, the expectations, the syllabus review, assignments, quizzes, chapter exams, grading, discussion board. That's what we're doing right now. During week 1, you really should have done it before this though, is remember, you need to have checked in. That's this right here, okay? We go to week 2. So week 2 opens on August 23rd at what time? 5 p.m., okay? And it will close when? Well, it'll close the night before this. So it'll close on the 29th on Tuesday at 11 p.m. Remember, it's the following Tuesday. So in week 2, we're going to go over chapter 1. You're going to get the chapter 1 lecture, scope and source of criminal law. So you see here I have PowerPoint lecture. I have a narrated lecture and a straight PowerPoint. I might have some links to videos and things for you to read as well that'll help you add context to what we're doing. So you'll read your chapter in your textbook, you'll look at the PowerPoint, or you'll listen to the PowerPoint, you'll look at the videos, you'll read the articles, and then you will take the weekly quiz number 1, which will be on chapter 1 right here. If you do this, you'll be done with week 2. That's everything in week 2. So that's how simple it is. Remember, all of this is due the following Tuesday. So it would be August 29th at 11 p.m. Week 3, you can see how it lays out here. Week 4, the same thing. Now let's quickly look at week 5. It's a little bit different because we added something. So week 5 opens September 13th at 5 p.m. It closes, remember, Tuesday night, the 19th, the day before here, okay, at 11 p.m. Week 5, Chapter 4, Capacity to Commit Crimes. You'll have the PowerPoint, you'll have the narrated lecture, you'll have probably some videos and some articles and things to read. You have your textbook, right? Because everybody's got a textbook, and you'll read your textbook chapter on Chapter 4, because that's what we're covering in week 5. You're also going to have your weekly quiz number 4, which is going to cover Chapter 4. So it'll be that 10-question quiz. We added a discussion board here. So it's discussion board number 2. So you'll go to Canvas, you'll look at discussion, so you go into the discussions area, you'll see discussion board number 2, you'll click on that, it'll tell you what the discussion is, and that's when you do your awesome, thoughtful post. So you've got that extra added thing in there. And then finally, just to kind of show you how it works, if we add in one more thing, week 6, you'll have a couple of these busy weeks, like week 6. Chapter 5, Parties to a Crime, you'll have the PowerPoint, the narrated lecture, probably some links to some videos and articles to read and what have you. You will have the weekly quiz number 5, which will cover this right here, Chapter 5. But then, this is also the week you're going to have your first chapter exam. And this exam will cover chapters 1 through 5, the ones that you've already done right here, all the way through. So that's why, remember, I wrote hint on there, do the quiz first. Weekly quiz number 5, chapter exam number 1, chapters 1 through 5. Take the quiz first, Things will be fresh in your mind, and then you can knock out the first chapter exam. So that's kind of how that works. Now, going a little bit further down in here, and I'm sorry, that's my dog barking in the background if you can hear. We're going to add the midterm writing assignment. So this is where we're going to, again, add in something a little bit extra, this midterm writing assignment. And you can see how we've got a discussion board. Midterm writing assignment is due. So week 10, you'll have your midterm writing assignment that'll need to be updated now or uploaded. Now, I might switch weeks on this. It may move, but I will notify you via Canvas, via the announcement type feature, or email to let you know if that does move. But right now, as you see it, this midterm writing assignment due date is going to be for week 10. And then finally, let me wrap up with this, go all the way down to a couple of quick things. Week 15, November 22nd, you'll notice that there are no assignments in there. There's no lectures, no weekly quiz, no discussion board, no nothing, but there is the extra credit assignment. Now, this extra credit assignment, yes, it's over the Thanksgiving break, but because there's nothing else that's going on as far as other assignments, you should have plenty of time to knock out the extra credit assignment. It's up to 15 possible points, so I would highly suggest that you do it. You can click on the extra credit assignment that's located, the link that's located within week 15 module 15, week 15, and it will give you the information there. Now remember, it opens and closes just like a regular class week. So it will open on November 22nd. It will close on November 28th at 11 p.m. And then finally, week 18, which is finals week, you don't get a whole week to do your final. That's all I wanted to point out. Your final exam is not cumulative, meaning it doesn't cover past chapters. I mean, as far as going all the way back to the very beginning, it only covers the last 4 or 5 chapters that we've gone over, and you will take your final between these dates, between December 13th and 15th. So you have like 3 days to basically take your final. So that's pretty much it for the overview. I hope this syllabus overview was extremely helpful. And again, I apologize for my dog barking in the background, but that's just kind of the way it is. And I am excited for this semester. I'm happy that you have taken this opportunity to spend the next semester with me in our AJ101 criminal law class. And we're going to learn a lot over this past semester. And I do send out quite a bit of announcements, so you'll be hearing from me announcement-wise quite a bit on different things that are happening. And then one last thing of note that I failed to mention, and I want to make sure that you know, just because you're taking an online course does not mean that you won't have the opportunity to participate in anything that we might be doing above the norm in a face-to-face class. And an example would be last year we had a DNA lab where you had a biology instructor come in and talk about DNA and its application to law, and the students actually got to process DNA. So if we have things like that, or guest speakers from police departments or different areas of law enforcement, I will send out announcements to you as well in the online world, and you will have the opportunity to attend those events as well. So with that being said, that is it for week number 1. Stay tuned for more information to follow on upcoming events and things that are going to be happening in the following week. So with that, I'll talk to you next time.